All right, what's going on, everybody? DT Rockstar 1 here. I've got my guest Michael Murray with me. How you doing, Michael?
Greatest day ever, Chris.
Awesome. So we got some news to share with everybody here. So want to let them know what's going on?
Well, last Wednesday I got the email from Ford Motor Company that I have been selected to receive one of the 2019 models of the new Ford GT. So all of our hard work and efforts and support from all of our many friends and family, and we're in, we get the car!
So be ready, there's videos coming, all right? Be ready for that. So we've talked about this before, where, I mean, you don't want to retire. You love what you do, and every time I talk to you, you always have something really positive to say. You know, you're never complaining about what's going on in life. You know so much about setting goals and achieving them. So why don't you share that a little bit with our viewers?
I believe that if you can dream it, you can do it, and I live by that saying. And another thing that I was taught as a youngster by my mother, and that is to always be grateful. You know, people don't want to hear people complain. So one of the ways to be is to be grateful every day. You count your blessings. I have a very good friend who had a mild stroke last weekend. You know, no paralysis. I have another very good friend who had a very bad stroke 2 years ago and is partially paralyzed. So no matter what happens to you, you're better off than the other guy. So one, count your blessings. Well, I don't have anything to count my blessings about. Well, sure you do. I learned this from the great author, Og Mandino, who said, what is your hand worth? What are those fingers worth? What are your arms worth? What are your legs worth? All right? If you take stock in what you have, you're a millionaire. You're a quadruple billionaire. And look at your family. You have a lot to be thankful for. Look at your friends. Look at your job. Look at your career. All right? You have so much to be grateful for. Sure, we all have bumps in the road, but big deal. You don't let them get you down. Life is about surviving. So the more obstacles you overcome in life, the stronger of a person you are, and it should set your confidence that, hey, if I can dream it, I can do it. And that's my attitude every day. To me, every day is better than the day before. As I get older, some people are afraid to get old. Oh, I don't want to tell you how old I am. I'm proud to tell you I'll be 72 in October.
And he doesn't want to retire.
And I mean,
how profound is that?
I have no desire to retire. Number one, I have my health. Number two, I have a great career as a real estate broker auctioneer with Pamela Rose Auction Company in White House, Ohio. We do some incredible auctions. Every auction we do is a challenge. I have my art career. I'm a sign painter, pinstriper. If you owned a bicycle and lived in my neighborhood, I pinstriped it. I learned that when I started when I was 13 years old. I still do it today. The more I do it, the better I get. Most men my age that are pinstripers, they can't stripe anymore because they're shaky, or they get a bad attitude about it. I intend to live a long time. I have very good genes, and man, I get so excited. I can't wait for tomorrow. What's going to happen tomorrow? As you and I were talking earlier, there are some people that have to have everything all planned out before they'll take a step and try to accomplish a goal. I've learned you don't have to do it that way. What I do, I get an idea and I step out, and then I figure it out as I go along. And we do that in our professional business as auctioneers. Some of the auctions that we do, we've never done before, but we have an attitude of we'll sign it up and we'll figure out how to make it work. Well, when I wanted to get the car, I made a decision to get the car, and then I figured out how to get there. So that's the way a lot of things can happen in your life, and the more you struggle, the greater the memories are. And here I can look back on 71 years of just incredible memories of the things we can laugh about, because things are not perfect, but you get the satisfaction when you accomplish the goal and say, wow, I did it, or we did it. Because there isn't anything you can't do.
Mm-hmm. It's ready, fire, aim. You know,
Correct.
don't just wait until everything is all lined up before you take a step out there and do it. Just go out there and do it. There's going to be some detours. There's going to be some bumps in the road, but you know, if you keep going at it, eventually you will get there.
Here, it all goes back to, it starts with a dream. And I heard a saying one time, it's really sad to have dreams go unfulfilled. Well, I agree with that wholeheartedly, because I have learned that if you just put some thought into it, sure, you don't just, let me give you a good example. You don't, if you say to yourself, I'm going to go run a marathon, you don't go out tomorrow and run 26 miles. It ain't going to happen. It's not going to work. However, you have the dream, I'm going to run a marathon. You visualize yourself running that marathon, and you say, it's going to take me 6 months to train. Now you've created an action plan. You've got a time. I'm going to do it in 6 months. And you start out. You may go out and run 100 yards tomorrow. The next day you might run 110. At the end of the week, you might be up to a half a mile. And you just keep building on it, building on it, build your strength, build your endurance, read what you can read. You got to have the proper shoes. You have to be properly hydrated. And you just work the plan, work the plan, work the plan, get better, stronger physically. You can run further, and all of a sudden in 6 months you're running a marathon. That's the same process the way it is in life. You set the goal, make an action plan. I believe you have to put that plan in writing, and I believe you start with putting it on your mirror. So you look at it every day. That's the thing you look at in the morning when you're getting up and getting ready for your day. That is constantly on your mind, because what happens is you'll get an idea. Oh, why don't I do this? Or I should be doing this. And you build on that, and that, quite frankly, it makes your life exciting, because all of a sudden you get ideas. You wake up in the middle of the night, you got another idea, you got to write it down. You may start your day, you may end your day. It's always about, that's what makes life so exciting and so much fun.
Now, what prompted you to get this?
Well, as you know, Chris, back in the 60s, I was racing in Sports Car Club of America, 1966 Shelby GT350. And I had fallen in love with the Cobra Roadsters, so I followed Carroll Shelby. Then he put out the Shelby GT350s, and then he connected with Ford Motor Company to assist them in their GT40 Le Mans program, which they won handedly in 1966, 1, 2, 3. We've all seen that famous photograph of the cars coming across the finish line. And while all that was going on, we didn't have, there were no radio and TV, no cable, no internet. You had to get your race results from Competition Press, which was a weekly racing newspaper. And I was an avid fan. I would get my subscription airmailed, so I would have the news on Friday from the previous weekend's news, and I followed Ford, and I absolutely fell in love with that GT40. Well, then when I heard the new car, the one I have, was coming out, first I pasted the photograph that was in Auto Week on my mirror, and I looked at it every day, and I set a goal that I was going to get that car. Then I bought the very first model, and I had it sitting on my desk. So I would look at the mirror in the morning and at night, and I would look at that model sitting on my desk every day and dream, dream, dream. And finally I had the opportunity and bought the car. It was a stretch. A couple of good friends had to give me a nudge because it was an awful lot of money, but I did it, and it turned out to be one of the greatest moves of my life. This car has made me a rock star. You know, I want to be like Chris, my friend, GT Rockstar, but I am a rock star. I take this car to a car show. It draws a bigger crowd than any of the other cars. If I'm driving down the highway, people, I can see them speeding up in the mirror. They want to come up and get a picture of it. If I stop at the gas station for gas, everybody wants to come over and talk about it. They want to get their picture taken with it. It's just been incredible what the car has done for my life and for my ego. I mean, we all got to have a little ego, all right? Because I came from very humble beginnings, and here I am. I have one of the most iconic automobiles that has ever been made in America. Then, what a big surprise it was a year and a half ago when Ford rolled out the new model, 2017, up at the Detroit Auto Show. It was a really pretty shade of blue, and I was just saying, oh my God, that is just incredible. I got to have one. So, as things started to evolve, and then they announced the racing program. And by the way, I went to Daytona 24 Hour this year, Sebring 12 Hour this year.
And Le Mans.
And in June, I went to Le Mans and witnessed firsthand history of Ford winning the race 50 years later. I was with incredible Ford people and Ford GT Forum car owners that I hang out with, and we saw history. I mean, how many people get to see history? Well, prior to that, we had made a decision, we being, again, I had to get a little nudge from a few friends and said, I finally announced, yeah, I'm going to get the new one. Well, then that kind of blossomed. As you know, my friend Chris came along, and family and hundreds of friends lent support to help me build more of a social media presence, which was part of the application process. And it's just been phenomenal, and I'm thoroughly convinced that that helped us to be chosen by Ford Motor Company.
Well, Michael Murray, thank you very much for your time. Everyone, thank you very much for watching. And remember, there are going to be videos coming of the 2019, or in this case 2019, Ford GT in the next few years. So please be sure to subscribe, and congratulations to Michael Murray.
Thanks, Chris. You're the greatest.